And once again, welcome forward to the Tiger's Nest. Some will say welcome black. Of course, Honorable Priest Isaac here with you. And of course, we are having a wonderful program this evening. We are speaking of the galactical presence of God. And of course, at the beginning of the program, I was showing you the importance of not only being rooted in the terrestrial understanding of things, which even as Rastafari, this was like one of our main mantras of staying grounded, understanding that the earth is the Lord, and the fullness thereof. Yes, but at the same time, that celestial aspect, as I said earlier in the program, many ones believe that God is in the sky, but they never really take the time to look up in the sky. You see what I'm saying? Many people feel that, yeah, the Christ is going to come out of the clouds and all of that stuff. But do we study the clouds? Do we study the sun that is behind clouds? And the sun is not even really behind the clouds, it's just where we are and how it appears. And you see, studying and understanding ancient astronomy is extremely important, and this is why we have even livicated ourselves to the study of archaeoastronomy. As you know, we are certified within that field of archaeoastronomy, and at the same time, ancient astronomy. We always take the time to express to the audience, to those of you who are subscribers to this program, The Tiger's Nest, that ancient astronomy is a bit different from astronomy. But it's good to know astronomy. We study astronomy hard. Yeah, and on the radio astronomical level and astrobiology and all of that, the full thing, the whole aspect of the physics of the celestial world is very important. And I will take the time to invite everyone who is rudiments of ancient astronomy course. Remember, we have an extremely special offer that is going right now as it relates to the rudiments of ancient astronomy. Remember, this is a course that goes for almost $200, and we are giving it away. I will use that term right now, just like how the salespeople say, giving it away for only $75. So if you have not, and that's just for a limited time. So if you have not contacted us to enroll in the ancient astronomy course, and remember, this is no jokey course, eh? I gotta use that term. This is, to me, one of the best courses that I've ever seen. I've been through a few courses, family. Definitely I've observed different teachings, even from some of the biggest universities. And our course is extremely animated, and the graphics are off the chain. Just to be fair and frank, of course, my young son, Honorable Prince Almase, would have been the master behind the creation of the graphics and the animation. And of course, the knowledge is on point. We have 13 chapters within the course that really goes into the planets, the stars, the Milky Way. You're talking about ancient astronomy, so you must go into the history as well. And even us on the term means Terra, territory and terrain, all of these words, terrestrial realms, and how we literally connect with the celestial aspect of it. So remember, you can just email us, Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com, and inquire of the special offer on the rudiments of astronomy course. It's going to take you less than 2 months to fulfill the course. You will be given a certificate at the end of the course. And although, again, it was somewhat prepared, let's just say, for a mature mind, definitely the teenagers, this would make a perfect gift for a teenage mind that is seeking more information. And believe me, not because I want to be, this is not what you want to be. This is our culture. We taught our children, everybody in our ancient culture, had to know about the celestial movements, had to know about the astronomical clock, had to understand the star systems. It's just a must. And anyone that is into this sort of study, you knows that it quickens your thought. I mean, it makes you a better thinker. Remember, the heavens represents your home, you know. That's why heaven is really encouraging that you enroll into the rudiments of astronomy course. And this is just for a limited offer where you get it for $75. In fact, it was for $50. And give thanks for those who took advantage of that. And of course, this is just for a limited time. It makes a perfect gift. And you see, this is when the celestial clock, again, it gives you a better meditation when you delve into even conventional religion. Because I would ask the question, I would have asked it before and I'm going to ask it again. How many sons does God really have? And remember our discussion tonight, we are speaking about the whole aspect of the galactical presence of God. So that's the question. How many sons does the God really have? Now, religion will tell you he has his only begotten son. And even as Rastafari, as Bobo Shanti specifically, as I came into this culture, there's a term that we would use, or the phraseology that we would put down is that the Christ is his own begotten son. It's interesting, words are very powerful because within the scripture, the Bible speaks about God having more than one son. And you can see this in the book of First John. You can see this in the book of Romans 8. It talks about the sons of God and you becoming the sons of God and because of your good deeds, etc. And because you follow Christ. And a person may say, well, listen, man, this is after Christ. Before God only had one son, but Christ came to make us sons of God. No, I'm not going to disagree with that because obviously you take up the tradition of the Christ. You take up the tradition of Melchizedek, which the Christ was of the tradition of Melchizedek. Christ was of the order of Melchizedek. Melchizedek was not necessarily of the order of the Christ that we speak about. Melchizedek was his teacher. Within the realms of the discussion, it says that Christ has a mother, but he didn't have a father. And because of that, many people are lured to the religion of Christianity because our father are called to see, okay, what does this really mean? Is this something literal in the way that we're supposed to take it? Or does it have a deeper meaning? I will definitely go for the latter, the deeper meaning. So really, again, all right, I get that point. He made us kings and priests unto God, and he made us sons of God. But prior to that, even in the book of Genesis, it said the sons of God saw the daughters of men. And they came and had children with them and giants and a lot of things like that. That's in the book of Genesis, Genesis chapter 6. Now, before I ask the question about the sons of God, let's go to the daughters of men. Who are these daughters of men? Were they daughters in the sense that we know daughters, like the literal children of people? Yes. All right. So who are the sons of God? Were they literally the offspring of the God? Well, no, maybe that means, hold on. Now, you see, they're used in the same context. So you can't say one means something and the other means something else. The daughters of men, we don't need to interpret it, is the daughters of men. We just try to complicate the stuff, because our religious doctrine, doesn't really align with what is being said. So the daughters of men were just that. They were the daughters of men. The sons of God. This is Genesis chapter 6, not Matthew chapter 5. Genesis, the beginning, the start, the 6th chapter. Before you read 7, 8, and 9, the daughters of men interacted with the sons of God. And these sons of God, in a sense, depending on how you interpret the verses here, they do not come across as if they're the holiest of holies. In fact, some people consider them to be the fallen angels and the watchers and these different things because they mated with the women. And it says within the next verse or the following verses how God was displeased with mankind. And there were giants upon the earth. And of course, I'm kind of paraphrasing here. The book is not really in front of me at the moment, but you already understand. We have been through the scriptures and the science thereof. So these sons of God, again, we don't have to go into too much long interpretation. You see, the thing is, many of us, we read scripture and prophecy with a belief already intact. So we're not necessarily reading to learn as such. We're reading and studying to somewhat verify what we believe. So that is why an open mind is very important. And you're supposed to go through these scriptures as if you're going through it for the first time in the sense, and you have a clear mind, and you're going to adapt what you're reading. But because you're going into it and saying, well, this is what I believe and nothing's going to change, no matter what you come across, this is what it means. And you try your best to change it and twist it and have it all sort of ways. As I tell you, I have a good brother here in Ethiopia, and we speak of the scriptures all the time. He's a Jehovah Witness, so you could just imagine, no disrespect. And, we were speaking of the Christ being God himself. And I'm of that opinion. And I guess the Jehovah Witnesses doesn't really go for that. Christ is just the Son as such, Father, Son concept. So anyway, he pulled out a Proverbs for me, Proverbs 8, and he was showing me within the Proverbs, wisdom was there with the creation, with God, and he was explaining to me that this wisdom, according to their teachings, was the Christ. I said, okay, but this wisdom is a she. It clearly says she. Now, I don't think he was aware of that because it kind of stunned him, but he just stood gun-ho that this is Christ. No matter if it said she, that this is Christ. Okay, I'm not fighting that the Christ energy can dwell in a she, but that is not what he was saying, because to him, Christ is a he. Jesus Christ too. And but because of the conviction of the doctrine, he was sticking to his guns that this wisdom was Jesus Christ, not just Christ now. So you understand what I'm saying, and that is our problem, even as Rastafari. Trust me, no matter what you believe and what you think, and Selassie is the Almighty, or whatever you have within your realms. And of course, that doesn't discredit that, in fact, that's the truth. But you still got to go into your studies. You still got to go into scriptures, prophecy, and as Haile Selassie taught us, secular knowledge to have a better comprehension of the reality. So the sons of God, come on. As I said, Melchizedek, when you speak of Zedek and Zedek, which is priest, the zodiac, Zadok, it has to do with the celestial aspect. And that is extremely, extremely important, and Melchizedek, his order was the order that was taught to Abraham. It's obvious. We see that right there in the scripture. His order was the order that was taught to the great Messiah, the Christ figure. We did a program right here on the Tiger's Nest, and I encourage those of you who are not subscribers to the Tiger's Nest, of course, just email us, priestIsaacInstitute@gmail.com, and get uploaded with our basically daily programs outside of Friday, the Sabbath, and the Sunday, our daily programs, the Tiger's Nest. And we did a program as it related to the lost years of Christ. Beautiful program. In fact, those of you who will be subscribing to the Tiger's Nest within the next week as such, we will definitely send you that program as well as a part of the package. Beautiful program that we did, speaking of the years that the Christ figure, the Messiah, spent in Tibet and in Iran, and of course the years that he spent in Kemet, and he became a student of the order of the Buddha, and the ancient mystery system of ancient Kemet. So when it speaks about him being of the order of Melchizedek, this Christ figure, the Yeshua, the Isa, who people be calling Jesus Christ and all of that stuff, this Jesus Christ character was a well-learned mystical being. He was the order of the ancient astronomical science of Melchizedek, and although Christ itself is the anointed, it doesn't say Melchizedek was of the order of Christ, but the Christ was of the order of Melchizedek, which is the order of Christ, no joke. And to me, you see the Son of God aspect that many may say, well, listen, this son is different than them sons. That may be true, I agree. But then it depends on how you are looking at it, because you got to keep in mind just the concept of God. That is a concept that has so many layers. But this is why I always say the Almighty is the all in all, everything. The universe itself. That's why people replace God with universe now, as the universe, but it's the everything. And the manifestation, the full manifestation of this everything is its highest creation, which is the Most High, Haile Selassie the first. Yes, Royal Family, give thanks. This is the Tiger's Nest program. Definitely one of the fastest growing podcasts that is out there at the moment. And I'm encouraging you to subscribe to the Tiger's Nest and make sure you get a copy of this program each and every evening. We're going to take a quick intermission, and then we will return and continue the subject area, the galactical presence of God. Give thanks. Rastafari live. Remember, Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com.